Across social media and on our website, we've published plenty of information about returning to St James's Park after 9 months. But to reiterate just a few of those points, here is Safety Officer Kevin, who is going to explain just why it's so important that we follow all the rules tonight. Kevin, what would you like to reiterate to everyone tonight?
Well, I think it's really exciting that we've got fans back in at St James's Park tonight. We're all really excited about that and can't wait to get people back in. The most important thing is that we keep people safe, and also it's important that people enjoy the experience of being back here. I know that the fans have been really looking forward to this chance to get back in, but they won't be surprised to know that we've gone through lots and lots of planning. Literally hundreds of pages of documents have been produced to prove that we can get people back in here safely. All of those plans have been scrutinised by the Football League, the local authority, the council, the police, the FA. All of those have got a real interest in making sure that we're keeping people safe. So there are lots of measures that people would be asked to abide by tonight to keep them safe. And a lot of it is very similar to what people will be used to when they go to supermarkets and other public places. So those will be that we ask people to keep a face covering on unless they're less able to do so. And if they can't wear a mask, then we won't keep asking them, why are you not wearing a mask? But we'll ask them to wear some sort of badge or symbol to show that that they can't wear a mask. And we're giving out some lanyards with sunflowers on for people that haven't got anything to show why they can't wear a mask. So to stop that conversation having to keep happening. We've got hand sanitising points dotted all around the ground at the entrance points, at the approaches to the stands, and obviously at the toilets. So if people can exercise good hand hygiene, that would be great. And we're asking people to keep social distance from each other. So when you're queuing to come in the ground, we've asked you to stagger your entry point. So there's communication gone out around that to come in on your alphabetically allocated slot. We'll ask people to abide by that so we haven't got a rush on the gates. It's good practice for when we get larger crowds over the next few weeks. When you're queuing to come into the ground, or you need to go to the toilet, please be respectful of others. Please be respectful of yourselves and keep yourself safe and keep that 2 metre distance. There's lots of plans around how we've allocated people to their seats. And I'd like to just go through that to explain how we're keeping people safe while they're sitting in the bowl of the stadium and when they're standing on the big bank or eventually on the St James Road stand when that's open. So as people would probably understand and appreciate, there's lots and lots of guidance has been produced on how we get fans safely back into the ground. Where I'm sitting at the moment, we need to void certain seats around them to make them safe, to keep that distance in place for people. So where I'm sat here, if I can just describe this seat next to me, the seat next to that one, the one in front, and the diagonal seat there, and the same on the other side. These two seats, that seat, and the three behind are all within a metre of where I'm sitting. And we've kind of proved that mathematically. The seats are all 480 millimetres wide, so we need to avoid that many seats to allow that metre gap and to keep people safe. And when you multiply that across the whole ground, you can work out how many seats we need to void. So other grounds and our calculations kind of work out roughly you can get between 25 and 30% of your normal capacity into a ground under these socially distanced rules. The same kind of rules will apply when we go to the big bank. We've got red dots spray painted on the floor at the moment at slightly more than a metre apart to keep people socially distanced when they're stood on those dots. So that kind of demonstrates for me how we're keeping people safe, but also demonstrates that our capacity of over 8,000 on a pre-COVID time is reduced to a lot less in this COVID restricted, socially distanced crowd that we're in.
I think plenty of people were wondering, the government guidelines said that we could have up to 2,000 in. I think some people were wondering why we aren't having exactly 2,000 in. Can you just explain, I know you've touched on it there, but why we are only limited to the number that we are tonight and why that will change slightly on Saturday and going forward?
Yeah, we've taken the view with our partners that we're working with. So that includes the Football League, the FA, the local council and the police to use this game tonight as a test event to practice. None of us have done this before. We've not lived through a pandemic. We've not managed sports events within a pandemic. We're taking lots of advice and guidance from other grounds that have had test events and grounds that have done events last weekend. But this is the first time at St James Park. So to make sure that our processes are right, that people are kept safe, we started with a lower number of people. We're expecting that to grow up and towards 2,000 over the next few games. Once we're confident and we've given confidence to our local authority partners that we're safe to do that. So we will grow to those 2,000 numbers. But the way that I've described how we allocate people with that social distancing, it's going to be really difficult to grow our crowd much over 2,000 and still keep that social distancing in place.
Could you please provide us with some clarity on the bubble situation? We've had a lot of questions about what constitutes a bubble and who can be with who at the game.
Yeah, the guidance on that is very clear for sports grounds, and it is people in your household or your support bubble. So it's very clear on that. So in some parts of the country, the rule of six is back in. That doesn't apply for sports grounds. It's people that are generally within your household. And I've talked a lot about our partners that we're working with. We see the supporters very much as our partners helping us get this right, keep them safe. So it'd be very easy to say, I've been allocated the seat I'm in, but it won't matter if I sit in that seat over there, or it won't matter if I don't stand on that dot I've been given on the big bank. Well, actually, there are consequences to that. It is about not spreading the virus, but also the scrutiny that we're under with the council, the Football League, the EFL. We'll be looking at how we're managing this. We'll be reviewing footage. We're looking at pictures that go in the media and on social media to see how we're managing this event. So what I'd really ask is that supporters are respectful of each other, respectful of the club, and respectful of the plan that we put into place to keep themselves and us as staff that are here to help them make them safe and have an enjoyable event.
And I think to finish, it's important to reiterate how much we need people to follow these rules, because if they don't, there's a chance that we may have to reduce the capacity further.
Yeah, it's to be honest, it caught lots of people by surprise when the announcement was made by the government that we could have supporters back in. It was a very welcome decision, but we all know that these things can change really quickly. And if the sports sector or individual clubs don't appear to be taking it seriously and abiding by the rules and the guidelines that we've been given, then it'll be taken away as quickly. So at the moment, we've got a little over 700 in tonight. We're hoping through the weekend and next week we'll get up towards 2,000 supporters, but that could easily change if we don't give confidence to the authorities that we're doing this properly and safely. So I'd really ask that the supporters in tonight enjoy it, get behind the team, celebrate a win, but comply with what we're asking them to do, respect the stewards who are doing the job to keep them safe.
Kevin, thank you so much for that, and obviously me and the rest of the team completely appreciate all the efforts that you and your team have gone through to make tonight happen.
Thank you very much.